Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hoboken Historical Museum. We are live Thursday night. I'd like to thank our program director, Rand Hoppy. I'd like to thank Bob Foster for preserving our Hoboken history as usual. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter. Very sorry. We're YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
We're not live on Instagram.
All right, we're not on Instagram. Twitter, sorry. Thank you, Rand Hoppy. That's Stu Chirichella being myself as usual. Today we got a special guest. We got my good friend, Butch Sanchez, recently inducted into the Pro Boxing Hall of Fame, and we'll get into that a little later. But I'd like to say hi to Butch. Butch, like to say hi to everybody.
Hello, and thank you for having me, Stu. It's always a pleasure. You know, I love talking to you.
Let me just say, not only am I proud of Butch for what he's done. Let me just show you guys this right here. This is how we get down today on Hoboken Talks, baby. This is all Hoboken right here. And I just want to say, Butch, I've known Butch, I don't know, maybe close to 40 years, maybe better. Grew up in town together. Butch has been one of the nicest guys I have known throughout because me personally, my past, a lot of people know it. And I've actually had trouble with Butch's family. You know what? That never even made Butch one time look at me differently. Butch has always respected me. He's always was a mediator for me. He always looked out for me when I was out there on the street, and that's what I appreciate about Butch most. And I'm just, I'm glad he's getting his props today because this is a good man sitting next to me here. He's did a lot for not only the people in the boxing world, young kids trying to be something better, coming out of hard environments, coming out of rough neighborhoods. He's done a lot for the town, and he continues to. So, no, but let's just talk about Hoboken, man. Let's just talk about growing up in town. I mean, what was it like? Where'd you grow up at? Tell the people where you're from.
Well, when I first came from Chicago, I was like 1 year old, and we went to 72 Garden. And then from there, we moved around the corner to 161 North Street, where as the years went by, we then moved to 917 Clinton. But Hoboken has always been special to me because all my family's from here. Obviously, my mama, my aunts, my cousins. And Hoboken was always special because you could walk a half a block and everybody knew everybody. Just like, we used to go to Forestry Park and shovel the snow and play. I remember back where I grew up, we had the field on Park Avenue and Observer Highway. It was like a rock ball there. And that's where we played football and stickball, and we played the bottle caps and tops and all that crazy stuff we did back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But man, I know you, Stu. I know you a long time. I remember you were one of the guys that I believe you had went to that private school.
St. Francis.
Yeah, you were one of the best athletes that they had.
Thank you. I take that.
I know you were a jock. You were a jock in basketball, but you scored a lot of points. So that's when I knew about you, because they were like, "Oh, this kid, you were pretty good." And you scored a lot of points. I knew you had to be a jock. Like my brother Ronnie Forbes.
Yeah, the Catholic school division was weak, though. I gotta say, for my.
Yeah, it was weak, but you stood out though. Yeah. Then in Wallace, of course, we had Dennis and Michael and the Millie boys and Max and all those guys.
Shouts out especially to Mike Millie.
Mike, and he's improving with his health, and Dennis and all those guys have really bonded together. That family is a special family through and through. And I respect them, and I'm a family guy. Like my brothers, those guys you see in the background there. My brother's a Port Authority cop, Tito, and my brother Edwin, the older one, he's a truck driver. And Chechi was the best fighter in the family. Was Chechi. I'm in boxing because of him, Stu. My stepdad took us to Mom Square Gym. It was like 1980. Mom Square Gym was on Grant Street, and there. We started boxing. I didn't like to get hit, Stu. I mean, I used to smell that leather, and then as time went on, I got a liking to training fighters. I liked how I motivated them. I liked how I started improving fighters, and that's how I got into training fighters. And Nelson who he's like a father to me. He was part owners of Mile Square Gym. So later on, he started signing fighters, pro fighters, and started giving it to me, my partner Bing, who's in the hospital. I hope he gets better. That's my partner, that's my right hand man, and Quinto, and we started training fighters, and that's how it kicked off. And in '93, we started to really kick off with the fighters. And in '94, we had our first world champ, which was Hector Acero-Sanchez. Remember, we beat Tracy Patterson. That was the upset of the year, Stu. That was, at the time, that was our greatest victory, winning the WBC title. And that, man, it just kicked off from there, man. We've been blessed. We've been all over the world with boxing, and it just kept on and kept on. And then we had we trained in New York at a Lodge Days gym for many years, and we had many good pro fighters, Tiger Martinez, Chelo Diaz, and continue to make champions. Now that I look back, Stu, I say to myself, wow, what we did was crazy. Even going to the Philippines and winning the world title, which is this is the IBF. We done stuff that I say to myself, we weren't supposed to win. But still, we had that mentality that there was no losing in our team. And again, I thank Nelson. I thank my brother Bing, who I love him, and I hope he gets better. My wife, Olga, is a big rock in my family, and so is that lady you see in the back there, my mama, who looks really good.
Butch Sanchez. Wow, who's that handsome guy? It's me. My name's Stu Chirichella.
Yeah. So yeah, me and my wife, we've been together 35 years, but she's really been the rock.
I don't know your wife, right?
Yeah. You see her? Yeah.
A few times.
Having said the blonde.
I have.
Yeah, of course you see her.
I'm sorry, Olga.
She's seen you. She's seen you. She's seen you a million times. But
man was yelling at me before the show. I was announcing the wrong place to go look for the show. So this is me. You know what I mean? I'm gone.
Yeah, who's that?
But let's talk. Jimmy Green. There's Jimmy Green.
Hey, Jimmy, hello, Jim. How you been?
Jimmy.
Good, brother. Thank you. You're the man too, bro.
Let's just go back a little bit. But let's go back. You're talking about stepdad came here. Your dad. Did you know your dad? Dad was around? Or
my real dad left us when I was like 7 years old.
Okay.
And then my stepdad, who was the owner of the cashier on Broomfield Street, on First and Broomfield, he came into the picture and took us in like we were his kids. Ramon Padron. And he was the one that put us. We were always fighting. Us four, the four brothers were always fighting in the living room. And Chechi, who was the knucklehead, he goes, I'm going to take you guys to a boxing gym. There's a boxing gym on First and Grand. And that's the picture that you see with us four.
George Herrera.
Georgie. Oh, George. What's up, George?
Hey, George.
Yeah. He took us to First and Grand, Mile Square Gym. But the best one by far was Chechi. That kid would have been world champ today. I mean, when I started training him, Stu, we boxed with Hector Macho Camacho, Livingston Bramble. He did more than better with those guys. But eventually he got tired and dropped out. I stood because I was on the safe side. I was getting punched. I became a trainer, and I was really good at it because I was a real good motivator. And to become a good boxing coach, you got to know two things. You got to know what you're talking about, and you got to be able to motivate the fighter so he can feel good about himself. That makes him a better fighter. If you believe that you're going to win, you got half of the battle won. It's just like anything. If I would have coached you, you would have beat my brother that day. So,
I don't know about that.
But that was the main thing. But my stepdad, unfortunately, still he committed suicide. He got depressed. He lost a lot of money, and in 917 Clinton, where we were living, he had committed suicide in 1990. My brother Tito was the one that found him. And after he got a break from school, lunch break. Juan Colon, you know, Juan was working in detail, and Juan ran with Tito, and they thought he was hanging a light, and he was actually, hanging. But other than that, he was a great man. He taught us everything. But he got us into boxing. If he would have been around and seen all this, too, he would have been shocked because, because of boxing, I've been all over the world. And I owe a lot to boxing. But again, everything starts in the family. A good mother, a good wife, my brothers, we all close. Me and my brothers, we got a chat. Every morning, my brother Edgar texts us at 3 a.m. Good morning, bros. Have a good day. God bless you. I love you guys. So we have our chat that we communicate every day. Every day we have a chat that my brother Edgar, because he's an early bird, because he drives trucks for FedEx. So he texts us, and then Tito, with the Port Authority, always gets up early. So we chat every day, which is good. We have some bond,
And people gotta understand too why, like, I know I emphasize it a lot. Like, people might say, "Oh, come on, how tough was it growing up in Hoboken?" I mean, but people really have to understand. Like, back then, it was a different world. You know what I mean? It was different time. It was a different place. Tough. We all got along different. Ethnic groups, but we were all, you more than likely you fought, then you got along with each other. Sometimes a lot. Not like with me and Butch. Me and Butch are always friendly, but that is few and far in between. Like the majority of it, you're out there, either you're playing ball, you're starting trouble with somebody. It's always going to be a fight. Coming from where we come from, this is very special because of the fact that we know we can probably sit off and rattle names for the rest of the hour of people who are not with us no more. People who had major talent. You know what I mean? So like, explain a little bit, like you're a young kid, now you're hitting to the gym, like you said, you didn't like getting hit and all that stuff. So you can't tell your brothers you don't like getting hit. You know what I mean? Right? No. So you got to keep going. You know what I mean? So you just almost forced to continue, right?
So what? We started all going to the gym, and then what I started doing was, instead of hitting the bag, I started then telling the guy, "Oh, this is how you hit the bag." So I started getting away a little from the thing, and then they stopped sparring me, which is what I wanted. I didn't want to get hit no more. And again, Chechi was an animal. Chechi was a beast. And he wanted to fight everybody. So I then started working with him. And I said, you know what? If Chechi wants to fight, better. I'm on the outside. And Chechi would fight anybody. He was an animal. But I mean, like you say, growing back wasn't easy. So we grew up on welfare. If I tell you, I kid you not, how many rats got into my cornflakes, I'll be lying to you. We used to hear them still. 161 North Street, my mother will tell you, she used to have to buy those bins like that to put our cereal in there so the rats won't eat through the box. I grew up my mom was on welfare. She had a bill in the store. Remember back then you could charge everything in the store, and then when the welfare check came, you had to turn everything over because you had nothing left over. Yes. But I think, like my brothers, you could contest. I think that made us a better person.
Damian Malachi.
Oh, Dame. What's up, Dame? Good, brother. I think that made us a better person because it shows you who, you came from nothing. And I still consider myself the most bottom guy in the world. I mean, I ride cars with Benny, and we got fancy cars, but that doesn't mean anything. That means we're still the most level guys in the world,
Talk a little bit, like a lot of people don't know, like Hoboken has a good history in boxing. I know when I grew up, we had right on the block was Russell Riccardi. Remember Russell from back then?
Russell.
Fought Buddy McGirt 2 times,
And
we had in Queens, we had Boom Boom Mancini trained right upstairs back then. Another guy who was a champion, right?
Oh, so we had.
It was a boxing scene in Hoboken in the 80s. Exactly.
When I did Fight Night with Mark Septembri and Mike Nessa, I bought Al Cerdo as a guest. Al Cerdo had the gym in Hoboken. And then later on, I had Buddy McGirt and Andrew Galata.
Kali Castro.
Oh, hi, how you doing?
What's your mom?
Sorry,
let's go ahead.
Yeah, so we had like you're saying, Russell, Edwin Herrera. We had a lot of. We had Alvin Herrera. Alvin was a good fighter, Alvin from Uptown. That's construction, Alvin.
Yes.
Alvin, little man on Nathan Willow. Little man was tough as nails. So it was always a boxing town. Hoboken was always a tough. But remember, Hoboken, I remember my cousin Mac getting into a nasty fist fight with Mike Turner. My cousin Mac, you knew my cousin Mac that passed away 5 years ago. That was like my brother. That was
Mike,
my heart.
you listening, Mike?
Yeah, Mike. Mike. He fought my cousin Mac. He fought my cousin Mac 10 times. Yeah, he knows Mac real good.
Mike, we're gonna call it 5-5.
A draw. Yeah, but unfortunately, Mac passed away about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. He also had what I have, the kidney disease, which we want to touch.
Eric Camera.
Eric, yeah, what's up, brother?
How he's asking a question. How has boxing changed over the years, in your opinion?
Well, it's changed because years ago we had a lot of promoters.
Good question.
Now we don't have as many promoters. You cut your economy in your hands. You got Al Heyman, Oscar De La Hoya, Mayweather Promotions, which is Al Heyman. Back then you had Don King. You still have Top Rank. You have Main Events. They're not around anymore. So it's changed. So you only got a few promoters now that run the show, and that's why it's changed a lot. You know
what's interesting too? Like for a young kid, like coming in or whatever, a new boxer. How hard is it to break into the boxing business? How hard is it to get a trainer? How hard is it to get managers and promoters and stuff like that?
You know what, Stu? Like I tell people, and this has been so true throughout my whole boxing experience. In order to make it, first of all, you got to be good. Second of all, you need a good team. You need a good trainer. You need a good manager, and you need a good promoter. It's a melting pot. So, just being good. My first world champ, Acero, I think you got to know him. When I beat Tracy Patterson,
yes,
he said it best. Acero, what he said is true to this day. Being good is not enough. You need a good trainer, like I just told you.
Yeah.
So, and to answer his question, it's also changed in the aspect that it's more of a business. I don't fight you because I think I'm better than you. I fight you if I'm going to get paid more. So in that aspect, boxing, years ago, Arturo, they wanted to fight the best. Forget about what the pay was. Now, it's about money. If the money's right, they make it happen.
And that's another thing. You hear of a lot of boxers all the time, like they're going broke.
They're all broke.
You know what I mean? That's why they need financial advisors. Even Cooney, we got a mutual friend, Jerry. Hope Jerry tuned in. But, Jerry always talks about that. He's with ex-pro fighters and stuff like that.
Jerry knows.
And they're all broke. Yeah, but here's another question. Which era was the best in boxing? I think the 80s. What do you think?
Well, he thinks it's the 80s because, he grew up in the 80s. But I think, well, you know what it is?
Tough divisions, though.
You saw Sugar Ray Leonard. We had those wars. But I think that every decade, every 10 years, you have that good era. You had the Mike Tyson era. Yeah. Then you had the Mayweather era.
Good heavyweights. Holyfield and them back then.
Yeah. So it was like, I think it's unfair. The 80s had great. Roberto Duran. How about Muhammad Ali?
Yeah. Really.
The greatest of all time.
Really.
I mean, him and Sugar Ray Robinson, I in my opinion, Sugar Ray Robinson was the best fighter of all time. Because he was a fighter that fought back in the day, but looked like a modern fighter. If you watch some of his fights, you're like, wow, this guy's making moves that these people do today.
Quick.
Yeah.
Like Mayweather, right?
Yeah, like Mayweather and stuff like that. So, and he did it back then, still.
Right. Not sure. How many fights did they have? What's the difference in that? Are you
kidding
me?
200 fights.
Come on, in a year.
So it was crazy. Yeah, it was.
Not
totally different era, but boxing never dies. So everybody thinks, oh, there's a low. There's never a low. There might be a low, and then it picks up. It picks right back up.
The young guy you're dealing with now. Tell him about him.
Julian Hammerhand.
Come on.
Hammer's a special kid, and we were supposed to fight now at the American Dream, and unfortunately the fighter got pulled over by customs. But we got some good news coming up that we're going to be announcing soon, and everybody's going to know about it. Once I'm ready to announce what I'm going to do with Hammer and his dad Alex, who's my partner, it's going to be good news, and we're going to be doing shows here at the Prudential and stuff like that, bringing boxing like Arturo Gatti was doing. So I think once we iron out 2 or 3 issues we got, we're gonna be doing some big things with Hammer. 100%.
Good. So, Butch is a young kid. He's in the gym. He's showing somebody how to hit a bag. Who's the first person you really started to train? Who's the first, like, could be not, don't have to be professional, like somebody that was just coming up, that didn't make it, whatever.
Yeah,
Tell us somebody that didn't make it. We'll hear about that story. Like somebody just was training, you were working with him.
I worked with this, when there was a little kid that I would train every day in, back in Patterson. And he just loved boxing, but he was
just when you first starting out.
Yeah, he wasn't talented, but he was. He liked to train, and I got with him. What I did was I started developing what I wanted to form in a fighter with that kid. So the kid never got nowhere because he wasn't really talented, but it showed me how to mold and train guys to where when Nelson started signing the pro fighters, good fighters from the Dominican Republic, it came right in, and it was like a candy, like a baby in a candy store. It was easy for me to blend in and start showing them, and I learned quick how to motivate a fighter. So sometimes you get clocked in the nose and you're bleeding and you're down, and I had to be able to pick you back up. So I think that was the most important thing in being a good trainer is being a good motivator, but knowing what you're talking. I got to put myself in your shoes. And once I do that, I say, if I'm thinking like Stewie is, then I'm talking to him right. So I would talk the way I would want to be talked, to be lifted back up. And it worked. It worked where I started seeing
who grabs you? They see you training. Who grabs Butch? Say, hey, I want Butch to be my trainer.
Nelson.
Talk about that.
Nelson was the one I told you. Nelson was the manager. Nelson was the big dog, the boss.
Hi, real quick.
Who's that?
From Abreu.
Aaliyah. Hi, Aaliyah.
Sorry, Aaliyah. I saw you there for a minute. I was just.
Yeah, Nelson, the boss. We call him the boss. He would sign all.
How do you meet Nelson? How do you come?
Well, he was part owners of Mount Square Gym when he was a kid. I know Nelson as a kid, and then he.
Are there any other trainers involved at this time?
Yeah, my partner.
They're bringing you in.
My partner Bing.
Okay.
And Cueto, and then there was a trio. And Nelson was signing all these Dominicans. He signed Acero, and he loved the way we trained fighting. So then he threw all the signings that he was signing. He threw over to us, and they were already good amateurs and stuff like that.
How old are you at this time?
Man, you got one of the pictures there that we were in
20s?
New York.
In 20s?
Yeah, I might have been 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's big for a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Training pro fighters. What?
Yeah, when some of them were older than me. So when we won the world title with Acero, that I think one of the pictures is there, me and Big, we were young. I had a crew cut there. I was in New York at Kingsway.
Okay.
Kingsway.
There you go.
I was in the living room.
How old are you right there?
I could have been 13, 14.
It was a big 14, 13.
Yeah, I was on the fat side, but there I don't look fat.
I ain't saying big that way. I'm saying tall. I ain't saying fat.
That was my 64
Nova.
Right
there. Look at the rims on that car.
Yeah, that was
nice. Graham popped his head up on it, but he likes that car.
Socks.
That's crazy. I love that's Hoboken.
That's what we were high school.
That's it. Bottom line. That's it.
I was 17 there.
That's summertime.
That was there. Look at the shorts.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought I was running the
DMC. To the front house with them shorts on Roseland.
Yeah,
right?
Heartthrobs. Oh man, that was 6, man. 6 passed away.
Yeah.
And it hurt me, man. That hurt me.
I was watching the Mayorga fight. Talk about that one for a minute. What was it? Oh man,
Mayorga,
he rocked him in the second fight.
Yeah, he
got 6 in the second
fight. The lights out of me still.
Oh man,
Mayorga was crazy. Yeah. Mayorga.
He used to come in smoking a cigarette in the ring.
Yeah,
right, smoking to the ring, smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, Mayorga did wonder after he beat us. Forget it. He made millions.
Okay.
Yeah, because then he beat Vernon Forrest.
Wow.
He went on to fight De La Hoya, Trinidad.
Yeah.
Those were all big fights, though.
Ronnie, people.
Yeah, Ronnie's my little brother.
Look at that picture right there.
Yeah, Ronnie's my little brother, man. Yeah, we love you, Ron. That's my brother right there. Him and Chechi were boys at school. They used to meet everybody up at school. Him and Chechi, growing up. But Ronnie, man, he used to come to my house. Ronnie, I'm not gonna say his story, but Ronnie, I was supposed to spar. With him. Ronnie's gonna comment on it, and he didn't want to spar, and he said he had asthma.
Ah, come on, right? You ain't carrying no pump at work. Come on.
That was Mile Square Gym, and I guess Tito, me, Chechi, and my brother Edgar, and we took Ronnie to the gym there. That was 102 Grant Street, Mile Square Gym. That was like 1980. And my dad, oh man, that was me. I thought I was Ali. Look at the Hoboken Recreation shirt. So 84. Wow. See the sign? 84.
Wow.
I thought I was Ali there.
So you get in right now. You're training. All right, you got your training. What's the first big fight? What do you get? What year? What year is this? Where we at?
I think 93. We already started.
Big fight, championship fight, or
the world title was in 94. So in Bally's. Okay. It was an upset of the year. We beat Tracy Harris Patterson
saying that before,
for the WBC Super Bantamweight title. That was Hector Acero-Sanchez, and we had a good run. Acero was probably one of the nicest boxers I ever seen. He would block body shots with his hand. I never seen that in my life. He bought that. He bought that on his own. We never taught him. What Ronnie saying?
Oh, Ronnie. One thing I bailed out. Look who's the professional side of this.
Hold on.
Ronnie, you don't want that.
Well, Ronnie, Stu, Ronnie's another one like you. Changed his life around.
Without a doubt.
Ronnie's been sober now over 20 years.
Easy.
And I'm so proud of that kid. Because he used to come to my house as a little kid. He was young. I think they played football. Him and Chechi played PAL.
Ronnie got on
Mighty Mites. Yeah. And Ronnie used to come to the house. Ronnie was part of my family and still is. We love him. We love him like a brother. But
so a lot of people don't know. Like Butch worked in Hoboken for many years.
34 years.
Like what's that like, Butch? You're training pro fighters one night, right? It's Saturday night in Vegas, and you got to be in work Monday morning.
Yeah, I worked. It was my only job. Still, the hospital. I worked at the hospital 34 years, and unfortunately, almost 4 years ago, I got sick. As I was in the ER, I worked for the security department. As I was in the ER, I passed out. In the ER, and they rushed me upstairs to ICU, and I had kidney failure. Still, I knew I had it, but I was prolonging it until my creatinine level went down to 4. And that changed my life as far as, I'm on dialysis. And I want to promote kidney awareness because I think it's something that's it's a chronic disease. And I think it's something that I was put on this for a reason. And I want to take it further. I want to, not only I'm on a kidney list, and we're going to be working on getting a kidney for me, but I want to help people because if you go to the dialysis here in Hoboken, it's sad still the way these people come out of there, and it really drains you. Like today I'm good, but tomorrow morning I go back on the thing. I have the port here, as you can see, it's connected to my heart. But I tell people, don't feel bad for me. Because I was put here for a reason, Stu, and I think it's to promote. Now, I was in Vegas, and I was telling the promoters, I was telling people, I'm sick. Oh, what do you mean you're sick? You don't look sick. You're strong. I said, yeah, I got kidney failure. So I want to promote it. I want to help people because I think I was put on this thing for a reason. I'm a boxing trainer, and I still travel. I do my treatments out there. It's funny because when we were going to fight Manny, when I went to the dialysis clinic in Vegas, Manny, the legend, the 8-time division world champ. When I went to Vegas to do the dialysis, there were all Filipinos there. And the one lady that hooks me on, she goes, "Wait a minute, don't you train the Cuban Ugas? You guys are fighting Manny Pacquiao Saturday." And I was like, "Oh." So they all came and they took pictures with me and stuff. And I told them, I said, "Look, not for nothing, but we're going to retire your legend tonight, Saturday. We're going to retire him. We're going to beat him."
Was that his last fight?
That was his last fight.
Last fight.
Yeah, we retired him.
Look at that history. Butch Sanchez right at Hoboken.
At a little town, Mile Square.
Pacquiao's last fight. You kidding me or what?
Yeah, it was a pay-per-view. It was sold out at the T-Mobile Arena, and you can still see it on YouTube.
Wow.
But wow, it was a glory.
What do you think about prime to prime? Your boy and Pacquiao, prime to prime. What do you think?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Prime to prime, it was tough to beat Manny.
Right?
Yeah, you gotta be honest. We caught him at the end. He was still good. But we caught him at the end. Yeah. We caught him at the right time, but it was our greatest victory.
No doubt about it.
Because it was able to afford Ugas good money for the Spence fight, even though we lost at Cowboy Stadium, which was over 40,000 people still. Yeah. It was nice, but I had the opportunity there again to talk about my kidney awareness. And there's a lady, a very nice lady, Barbara Howie, who's helping my wife because I got to get my A1C down in order to get put on a list where they can help me get a transplant.
How could anyone who's watching now, what can they do? Say
anybody who's watching and really wants to do a good deed, not only for myself, but they could become a donor. And if you're healthy enough, of course, you can live perfectly healthy with one kidney, but you got to be healthy. I had my brother Cano, who came in, Cano Rodriguez, Julio Cano Rodriguez, who came out for me, but unfortunately, something happened that he couldn't go further with it. But he at least tried. He tried to give me his kidney, and I appreciate it. My brothers can, because if you're diabetic, you can't. But if your blood type matches my blood type, I think I'm O positive. If they match, and there's no fighting between the blood itself, then they can proceed with. But anybody who's I think it's a good deed, and again on my end, I want to help people. That would be my good deed. Obviously, I can't give a kidney because I need one. But I want to promote it, Stu. There's too many people that are sick. And I'm a boxing trainer who's quote unquote a little bit known. And I want to use the opportunity. I told Timothy Bradley from ESPN, those guys that get a lot of viewers, I told them, listen, kidney disease is big. I said, I'm on dialysis, and a lot of people don't know that. Because they see I'm healthy. But Benny, my good friend Benny, who'll tell you on my off days, Stu, the days that I do dialysis, I'm tired, bro. I go home and sleep because it takes a lot out of you. But it was my fault from not eating right, and hypertension. Also, my toes were amputated because of diabetes. So diabetes and hypertension is something that hit me hard because my toe, I got an infection, and I didn't listen to my wife, and they amputated all 5 toes on my left side. But I guess it's something that gives me something to talk about. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm trying to help whoever I can help because, I think I was put on this platform for something, Stu. I have had 8 world champions, and now I'm sick. Now, in order for me to travel, I got to get cleaned out every couple of days. So that aspect, the kidney disease has been tough because if I go to Vegas, every 2 days I got to get cleaned out. Before, I would travel all over Germany, France, Venezuela, Guyana, Peru. I've been all over, and I didn't need dialysis. Now it changes the ballgame until I get a kidney, and I believe that I am going to get a kidney. But, it's going to be God's will. It's going to be God's will. But other than that, Stu, I'm blessed. Listen, I'm so proud to be from Hoboken, bro. We Hoboken through and through, dog. I mean, we could go anywhere, and we from Hoboken. I don't care where you're from. If you're from Hoboken, you're proud of it.
You just heard real Hoboken toughness right there. This man goes 3 days a week for dialysis, And he was like, Stu, when's the show? Thursday night. He said, no problem. I don't have the houses that day. I'll be there. You know, this is what this man brings to the table for a lot of people. So you want to talk any more about
well, no, just
I'm saying on the dialysis and the kidney movement?
Just
because I got plenty more questions about the box.
We'll talk. Anybody who wants to be a donor.
We're gonna interrupt the round. What happened? We got a call, Red?
I don't know what that
Anybody who wants to become a donor, or even if they want to donate on my behalf, they could become a donor in St. Boniface, New Jersey. You can log on to there, and my real name is Edgar Sanchez, and then they could say, look, I want to see if I'm a donor for Edgar Sanchez, and they can start the process with St. Boniface. I'm trying to get on
Jimmy Green just put up good information. Resources and Kidney Donor Registry. I would imagine. Google that, Jimmy. Send that back, whatever that is.
Yeah. So St. Boniface is the list I'm currently on, and I'm trying to get on the Hackensack list. Also, like I told you, Barbara Howie is my wife's friend, and she's trying to help me get on another registry. I got to bring my A1C down. That's why we got connected today with this gadget that tells me my blood levels and stuff. But other than that, we talk boxing, brother.
Magna Cruz.
Oh, Magna, that's my sister right there. That lady right there is like my second wife. Quote, sister, cousin, everything. I love her. Stu, you know Magna. She was a cheerleader for Hoboken High. She's the phlebotomist in the hospital. She draws the blood. You know her when you see her.
Probably sure.
Yeah, Magna's been incredible. I don't know. She's God sent. I mean, she knows more about me than I know about me. Angel Pagan, my boy Angel from
Hoboken legend. Absolutely.
Yeah, Angel.
I like the comp. You spelled that right.
Yeah, Angel's son is getting processed, and we hope he gets it from the Port Authority police. Yes, love her. Yeah, Magna's that girl's God sent. It's crazy. She has all my records, so she goes to the doctors with me and my wife. Without her. She's held me tight. Her, my wife, and my mom.
Yeah, but that's the love you put out, man.
Yeah,
you know
I think people say
that's good karma always comes back.
100%.
That's the love you put out, bro. You're a gentleman, man.
100%.
People love you, man. Come on, man.
I got a good supporting cast, and I got good friends, bro. I mean, I'm always with Benny because we ride together. Benny Love. But,
Benny's here. Benny's chilling in the back.
Yeah, Benny's here. Benny's my little brother. We ride our cars together and stuff. I'm friends with everybody, Stu. Everybody. We all friends. Joey Ski, all of them.
Mike, what's up, Mike? Mike just lent me a nice pinky ring for the thing we shot. Mike hooked me up. Mikey Ski.
Oh.
That was brother.
Mike, yeah. Mike's my boy. Mike's my boy. He goes by Benny with his kids because they play baseball. Yeah, Mike's good dude. I knew his mom, Franny, rest in peace.
Yeah, she was a good woman.
Franny, remember when me and my wife first moved in, we moved to 602 Park.
So you're right there.
Yeah. Franny was on the second floor. We were on the third floor. So I used to hear Joey Ski's mouth all the time.
What about Mom, Butch? Talk about Mom.
Mama Dukes. Mom is on First in Washington.
Talk about your mom yet.
Yeah, Mom's on First in Washington. She was the father and mother. She raised those four gorillas.
No, easy.
You know what happened was, we were all fighters. Bro, we used to put on the gloves. I kid you not. And we used to knock everything over. Because that's all we did was we wanted to fight, and Chechi was the culprit of it. We used to put on the gloves, and me and him used to knock everything over. And Tito did weights. Tito was always a big weight guy. He went on to college. I'm the most proud of my brothers is him. Because he went on to college and then later on became a police officer. He's about to retire still. Yeah. He got 2 kids.
Christmas Day, I saw Butch and Tito. And
that's right. At the Prudential Center.
Prudential Center, no, yeah.
You were with
I go into the fights.
You were with Freddie, yeah.
I go into the fights and I go down and there it is. It's Butch right there.
Yeah, I took my brothers. Benny was supposed to go and didn't go.
That's when I first found out about your condition and stuff like that. I didn't know that. You told me that day.
You had something on your shoulder. I think I
had the sling on. I had surgery. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know, Stu, because I really haven't put it out there. But like the lady Barbara was saying, you got to get it out. She even told my wife, listen, for the Hall of Fame, do flyers and put it in the parking lot of the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I sold 72 tickets, too.
I want to. I told you.
That's it. Yeah, I gotta order more. I'm gonna order another table.
Talk about the
Hall of Fame ceremony again. It's the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame. It's done by Henry Haskell, who's a great boxing history guy, and he does a great job with the Hall of Fame and a lot of other stuff he does. But the ceremony is November 10th, Thursday at 6:30 p.m. and you can buy tickets at the door. The tickets at the door are $110, and you can buy tickets at the door. I personally have sold 7 tables already. So a lot
showing up.
Yeah, a lot of people want to come, and they find out, and they're like, "Oh no, I gotta call." So every day I call for more
So
tables.
all the inductees are there that day.
17 of them. Johnny Cooney's gone.
Everybody that's getting inducted.
Yeah,
that's
17.
That's amazing, man. That's
17. I think I'm the only one that's a boxing trainer.
Trainer?
No, boxing trainer. The other ones are fighters and one referee.
How many trainers are in the Hall of Fame?
There's a lot of them. If you go on the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame, it has all the names.
There you go. Boxing.org. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So Henry does a great job, and it's a great event. So it's like a wedding. I've been to it. So the ceremony.
That place is humongous too. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm not going to say it. Listen,
I did 7 tables.
I
did 7 tables.
Wow.
So it's I think it's a great event. I've been there. So it's like a wedding. They do the hors d'oeuvres first, and then cocktail hour or whatever it is and stuff like that.
I know I seen you in the picture. What's the picture with Ali, man? We got that one in there or no?
Yep.
We got that one, right?
The greatest. Yeah,
We got that.
I blew that one up. I made that one a canvas.
Let's talk about. Did you, like where everybody knows what Muhammad went through? Did you get to speak to him?
Yeah. There he was still speaking. Another picture I got, he was bad already. There I went to a signing thing with Roberto Duran when they did the Prince.
Okay.
That was when that was in New York, and him and Roberto were joking around, doing jokes, and since me and Roberto are good friends, whenever he would come into New York, man, that's an idol, Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
I'm like touching elbows with him, and he's calling me by name.
Hands right there.
Yeah, hands of stone. And it was like, Stu, it was like a dream come true, bro.
Did you see the documentary with him?
Yeah, of course.
It was hysterical.
And my boy Macho Camacho.
$500,000 in the club, remember these?
Duran he got a nice a restaurant in Panama, seafood restaurant that I went to in Panama. But Duran has a heart of gold. Camacho calling me on the cell phone. I looked up to Camacho was the baddest boy around, bro, because he was a bad boy from the street. Yeah, and he would call me, Butch, I'm coming down. Could you open a gym? At the time we were training at Hackensack. And I would, hell yeah, Mach, I'll be right there. And he would come in from Harlem because he was flying in from Florida. But Macho was one of my idols, bro. He's calling me, Butch. I'm like,
That's awesome.
I would open the gym for him. So I've been blessed. Sugar Ray Leonard. I met everybody. So
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite boxer? Who's your favorite? Whatever boxer you train or in general. Who's your favorite guy? Who were you like when you met him? You were like, oh shit, I can't.
He's Ali, man. Ali and Duran, but because Duran, we hung. We went out to eat. He would go to Sixers fights. All the Sixers fights, we would fly him in. But Duran, we had more of a person. Ali, because he's an icon. Ali is the most recognized sports figure in the world, Stu. And I touched elbows with him a few times because of the Roberto Duran. Roberto was my good friend, and whenever he would come in, he would call me. He called me and my partner Bing. He called us the Panda Bears, the Fat Panda Bears, because Bing is a little, Bing, the one I look like Big Pun. My partner, he's in the hospital now, and I hope he recovers. But that's my brother right there, bro. That's really my brother from another mother, man. But Duran will call us, and he said it in a lot of press conferences. Duran said the best up-and-coming trainers are the Panda Bears. They're right here. And he would always give us a shout-out, Duran. And he called us the Panda Bears, and that stuck for a while. And some other guys called us the Fat Boys. But it was, the Ali and Roberto Duran, but Camacho was I used to like being around Camacho because that guy, he would snap out of nowhere. He would come up with something crazy.
I love when he yelled at Larry Merchant. I know what you said, Larry.
He was crazy. So I like being around Macho because, shit, man, Macho was one and only. So Macho was one and only. But I've been blessed to be around all the fighters: De La Hoya, Sugar Ray Leonard, of course, Mike Tyson, Larry Holmes.
That was Mayweather. Been around Mayweather?
Mayweather, yeah. Mayweather a bunch of times. Mayweather went to our fight when we won the world title with Six Head Lewis. Mayweather was in our locker room because he was up and coming at the time, and he had just signed with Top Rank. So
I tell you what, for me, like I don't, you can say how you feel about like, you know, Mayweather is brash and he's loud, but for me, like I respect like the way he took over the game and made his money. You know what I mean? Like you see boxers like Ali, Frazier, these poor guys, they got to go out and do signings. They need just to make money. This guy here, he's controlling it almost just about. You got to respect that. That's
guy's he's a billionaire.
Yeah, because the fighters, you see it. Fighters are getting hit. A lot
Look,
of them
he comes back for exhibitions and makes 30, 40 million. Who does that, Stu? And like he says, you see all these cars I got, they're all paid for. I don't know nothing. Yeah. So he's been different. The guy, he got businesses people don't know he has. He has that big go-go bar in Vegas. That's the number one place. But Mayweather, forget about him. He's on another bracket, and he's done basically what Ali did for boxing. He's done for the money part of boxing, because he showed you how to make money. He retires, comes back, does an exhibition with Conor McGregor, and makes $100 million. Who does that?
What do you see like in the boxing field? Like all the old retired boxers. Do boxers take care of boxers? Some guys say, "Oh, this guy's hurt, man. We got to."
Well, you know what?
Like, you see any of that stuff?
Danny McDermott is doing now a fundraiser for Bruce Southern.
Right.
And I
heavyweight? Is that heavyweight?
Yeah, he's on the street in Newark. Guy was a world champ, made millions. He's in the shelter in the street, and Danny took him and did a fundraiser. And I gave him a few dollars. And Danny's got him working up in the gym with North Bergen. Took him out of the street, cleaned him up, put clothes on him. Yeah, so far, the fundraiser's done like $4,000. The GoFundMe page. Yeah. But he took him out of the street, Danny. And I commend Danny. He did a good job with that. And I gave him a few dollars because I said, damn, what he's doing is something good. But Jerry Cooney has done stuff good for boxing, Retired Boxer Foundation.
Jerry, and stuff like Jerry?
That. So there's a lot of guys that have done good by fighters that, the boxing industry, Stu, is something that most of them are broke because what happens is they come into wealth all of a sudden and they don't know how to deal with it. And they spend it. And I'm telling Ugas the same thing. I said, spend your money wisely because it don't last. Yeah. Ugas now has made a couple of $1 million in his last few fights. And I told him, I said, invest your money.
Tell him who Ugas is. Tell him who it is.
Yeah,
what division? What division?
Yordenis Ugas is the WBA ex-welterweight champ.
No question. How'd you hook up with Ugas?
I hooked up with Ugas through a guy from Florida. That guy called me and asked me, was I interested in working with the silver medalist, the Cuban silver medalist who beat Terence Crawford. I said, what? I said, of course I will work with him. So he sent them down. Ugas was in Miami, and they were partying in a lot of clubs over there and stuff. So he sent Ugas down, and I had him at the coach house. And I put him there for a couple of years, and we won all our fights except we lost one fight. We were 4-1 or 3-1. But I did so much for him because at one time he had nothing. So they stopped paying his rent. They stopped sending him food money. So
who's they? His handlers, his trainers,
handlers in Miami,
his managers
in Miami.
So they basically gave up on him.
They gave up on him.
You put life in him, right?
So what happened was, Stu, I got caught there, and luckily Nelson paid the rent, a few more rents for me. I couldn't afford it. I would give him food money, and you know what, Stu? That food money came a long way. You never forgot. And he'll tell you, now that he made millions, he says, Coach, you got something in your gazelle.
Blessings.
And He's like my son. If you see pictures, I should have sent you the picture where I'm kissing him. I tell everybody because he don't have a father. He only has a mother. He's the only son. And Ugas is like my son, but all my fighters. So I got Marcelo. I got Tamara. I got Six that passed away. It was really close. And I'm still close with Acero. Six got hit by a bike, man, crossing a highway. And the car ran him over.
Young, right?
Six, 30s. He was 43. 43 okay. He was the first champ out of Guyana. That was we made. The first champ.
That was your first like big fight, right, at the time?
Yeah,
Six,
yeah,
right?
because he
remember
made.
that.
I remember our first world title. Not our first world. When we fought Mayoga, it was like $600,000. It was a lot of money back then.
Money for the fight,
yeah. Yeah, so that was our biggest money fight up until that time. But Six was a bad boy. Six was at one time he was 22-0 with 21 knockouts. But we beat we knocked out James Page on HBO. But we shot out Hoboken.
I see Butch coming in on maybe home. Butch, we got to find that. Butch is coming. Yeah. Look at this.
We were on HBO and we knocked out James Page, awesome. And that was really, even though Acero was our first world champ, that was really our first claim to fame because that was the welterweight division. Yeah. And man, Six was good. I took it so hard, man. I cried like a baby when he died. But me and him were close. Like I was always the closest one to all my fighters because I was the motivator. So, like, all my fighters were close to me. Like, whenever there was an issue, they come to me.
In the corner, you grabbing him first? When he comes back after a round, you got him first?
No, when it was my partner, Bing. Okay. And I never changed that.
Right.
Because that's the way we were. And we left it like that. And even till now that we have fighters, I always let him in. Because we always did it that way, and we never wanted to change.
Of course, you threw something out for the you were there.
Of course. They always look to me for instructions. But me and my partner, like again, that's my brother, bro. We've been together forever, bro, and we did good, Stu. We were all over around the world.
You did better than good, my man.
Yeah, I think we did good. And again, I always say Hoboken is my town, and my mom is still here, my aunts. My cousin Mildred, my cousin Mildred always supply housing, right. And my cousin Lude, and all my family, bro. My cousin Yvette, my families that we were all tight knit. You know what I mean? And they were all happy that they were like, oh yeah, there's my cousin on TV. Because remember we used to fight on HBO a lot back in Showtime too, when it was Showbox. Remember?
Right.
So we had fun, but again, boxing, like I told you, has changed in that aspect. That. You got PVC now. PVC really took over stuff like that. Al Heyman and Mayweather and stuff.
Somebody threw up a question over there before. Breeding ground for boxers. He said it's Vegas, the best breeding ground, but not really, because Vegas is where the fights are, basically, right?
Well, they're where the fights are, but now a lot of people are training over there because of the weather.
Yeah.
Ugas trains in Vegas.
Yeah,
because of the weather. You got a good trainer there. Ugas' head trainer now is Ismael Salas, who's my boy, the Cuban, whose mother happens to live in West New York. He trains all the world. He's had a bunch of world champions. He's a legend. He's going to be inducted into the big Hall of Fame, I believe. That's my boy, Ismael Salas. And he's got a nice gym over there in Vegas, and they got a bunch of world champions over there. So that's why it's a hot breeding ground. And the weather.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Remember, over here we got winter, and when the fighters got to sweat to lose weight, here's not the place.
I've never been to Vegas. What's the humidity like out there? Is there no humidity or no? There is
no, I think there is.
Like past 2 o'clock, you can't be outside, right?
It's 105 degrees, 110. So it's you never been to Vegas, though?
No, never been to Vegas. I'm going to the next fight. Next fight you're in, I'm going. That's it.
You got to come to Vegas. You're gonna love it. Well, it's a different, scenery. You see the mountains.
I've been Atlantic City.
Yeah, but not like Vegas, too. Not like
and
Vegas.
let me tell you something. The boardwalk in Atlantic City, whoever the mayor is of AC, you got to clean that place up. It's brutal. Yeah. Holy moly.
Yeah, it's under run down.
Forget it. Who we got?
That's why they stopped doing
Jimmy Green, Butch. Butch should be a motivational speaker, a podcast to tell your story and promote your mission for renal kidney failure awareness and mental support programs around the country. Yeah, no doubt.
We're gonna start, Jimmy.
You should get up on
Jimmy,
that's your platform there, yeah. And
yeah, I think so.
Platform on top of that.
Yeah, I think so, Stu,
Why
because I want to really help people.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
I think that's the way to go, and
absolutely.
In a way like what you're doing. Remember, you straightened out, bro. I knew you when you were crazy. You and my brother Rambo. I used to call my brother Rambo at the time. And
I used to got
the story that we see now, the Benny love that we see now, you guys changed, bro. So you guys got a big story to tell, just as much as I do.
Here's the story with Butch's brother. We got to tell because Butch's brother probably took the worst beating on me. I had to go home. I had to ice for 3 days. My mother iced me. I just had a fight with Izzy, middle Izzy, Red's his soul.
Oh, Izzy,
so your brother's like, I don't know what happened. He just came in. And
I
was heated already. I wasn't beat up. Take it easy. I didn't get beat up. Izzy was he's always fighting. So I was already heated, and he just happened to come into the picture. We exchanged words. I think he was beating me up all the way till I got home. Somebody was riding me home on a bike. He was still hitting me.
Yeah, but you took the beating.
Did I? Holy
and
moly!
You came back with a back.
Hysterical.
Wow, that's crazy. My brother got to see this.
But what a good yeah, and you had to beat up. I mean, listen, Benny knows. Everybody knows. It was just rough. It was just we were just raised that way. It was just it was natural. It was just natural to be. It's crazy. It was crazy.
But I love this town and. Back then, remember the fires, Stu? The fires we had back then.
We talked about that with Mike last week. I said Mike being a fireman wasn't an attractive job back then because people getting burnt out left and right. I mean, it was a tough place.
There was a lot. I remember the big fire where ShopRite was. Remember ShopRite?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, those were big fires. We lived just down the block where the police station was on Long Street.
Yeah. Rand, how we doing on time?
We're at 56 minutes. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's an hour just like that. Imagine.
That's right.
I mean, how do you want to?
What the bagels, man?
How do you want to finish up, Butch? What do you want to say? What do you think? Which way you want to go?
I think I want to thank everybody for, especially the old founding fathers here in Hoboken, because the good teachers we had, Mr. Germanari, Mr. Stinson, Mr. Lisa, those teachers, they molded us in a lot of ways. But even my boy Vinny Johnson, bro.
Yeah.
Vinny's done a lot for Hoboken. I think this is a product right here. I'm a product of Hoboken. Again, what I've done in boxing, I've done it because of Hoboken. It started in Hoboken, Stu. My mom, again, my wife, Olga, I love her. My mom, my brothers, those are my heart right there. And I think we all look alike now that I'm looking at everything. So we all got big heads, right? But just a product of Hoboken. I think in closing, I'm grateful to be and still be in Hoboken. I go to Hoboken every day because I do the dialysis 3 times a week. I pick up my wife that works in the hospital. She's the cook. And then when not, I visit my boy Benny at the field house. And just super proud, Stu. Super proud of you, bro. Believe it or not, it's not. I didn't think this was about me today.
It ain't about me. It's about you.
I want to commend you and the way you turned your life around.
Thank God.
You've been sober and you've given back. You see the way you've given back with the meetings you had with Candy and these guys. Yeah. When I worked in the parking lot in the back, you guys had the meeting there. Yeah. So with Bo and stuff like that. So I think people like you, like I told you, Benny, these guys that turned their life around, man, from Hoboken. And everybody has a story to tell, I believe. And you guys should keep bringing interesting people.
The wife keeps saying, you better say you love me.
Yeah, well, 35 years, I got no choice. Right? Well, she's a great cook. That's why I'm heavy like this. But that's it, Stu. I've been blessed. And I think
this is it right here. This is Hoboken, baby, right here.
That's the WBA title.
Here we go, baby. Talk about that. Talk about that 1 minute before we go.
The WBA
we got time, Ray? We got time?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about the
we beat Manny Pacquiao in August of last year, and we retired him. That was our greatest victory. But in closing, I also want to commend the people here at this museum. And I haven't been here. This is really a beautiful place.
Rand Hoppy, Bob Foster.
Rand Hoppy and Bob Foster, they've done a great job here. I was really impressed when I came in. I was like, wow, this is nice. I mean, I passed through here a million times, when me and Benny fly by here, but I never been in here. But this is really nice. I commend them for the job they're doing and preserving the history of Hoboken, too.
Without a doubt.
Because listen, we're from Hoboken. That was my grandmama.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Talk
well,
about that.
sheepskin. She
Look
got
at
her
the
sheepskin.
bar on the corner. Oh,
Yeah.
holy moly.
Over here, she's next to 161 North Street.
Wow.
That's our garden. That's garden right there. Look at the old cars. And she got her sheepskin on. Her fake sheepskin.
Wow.
And that's, I don't know what park this was. This is me here on the left, Chechi in the middle, Tito, and my brother Edgar. It's crazy.
In the jeans with the side.
Yeah, with the big. My mom did a good job. Man. She used to try to dress us up as best as she could. And it was fun. It was fun to. We were always there. We're all 4 brothers, man. A good time growing up. And we've been blessed, too. Really from Hoboken, brother. You know what way to say it, really.
No doubt about it.
Mike Turner, proud of him. Mike and his father.
Yeah.
Mr. AC himself.
Yeah.
I remember all of them very well. So
what's next, Butch? Let's talk about, like, for now, are you training? Or
Yeah.
We were still working with guys for now?
We were supposed to fight at the American
That's right.
Dream
I'm sorry
last
about
week.
that. Yes.
Yeah, so now I'm just waiting for something to clear up so I can have a big announcement to make with Julian.
Good.
Julian's a special kid. And hopefully I'm going to have an announcement to make on him very, very soon. And
he's the only fighter you're with now. That's it.
Yeah,
right?
him and Ugas. I'm still with Ugas.
Right. So you need, basically.
Yeah, you know what, Stu? Once you get sick, everything. Plus, I was winding it down anyway. Yeah. And then the president elected me to the Hall of Fame, the president himself.
So talk about that. How'd you get where'd that come about?
The president himself.
He just called you up one day?
Yeah, well, he sees, he's a boxing historian. And he sees, I think in New Jersey, besides Lou Duva, we're probably had the most world champions. Besides Lou Duva. Remember, Lou Duva, he signed the 84 team. Yeah. Whitaker, Holyfield, Murray, he signed the best. So, ain't nobody have more world champs than Lou Duva. But other than that, I think we might. Al, yeah, but I don't know if Al gets to 8. But he had Buddy McGirt.
Did Buddy get any champions? Buddy McGirt?
Yeah, Buddy's had.
He got some champs,
yeah, but Al himself has had a few world champions. I don't know if he gets past 8, but he done good. Mustafa Henshaw. Al was great. That's my boy. I was to the end. I was the one I bought him as a guest for the fight night with Mark September and Mike Nesta. Rest in peace to Mike Nesta. The Port Authority police chief was my good boy. He passed away still, Mike Nesta. But we had a great run, bro, and we continue. I think Hammer's going to be world champ, and then after that, I think I'm definitely going to hang him up. I've done what we were going to do in boxing, and my original team is not here, which is Bing, my brother. He got sick, and it's not the same.
Is he out?
And Nelson.
Is he not training anymore?
No, he's in the hospital right now because he's having a little problems. And Nelson, who's the boss, he's like my dad. He retired. I took over. I started managing the fighters, but that's it. So now they all got sick. I got to try to get better. Yes. And it's like people say, create the kidney awareness. Maybe we get a donor and stuff like that. So
please, if anybody, interested or knows anybody, just, there's a lot of ways to go about it. Get in touch with Rand and the show. Get in touch with, get in touch with Butch, myself.
Yeah.
If anybody's watching.
Yeah, 100%. So.
Yes.
And I appreciate you guys having me on. And it gives a little light to boxing, which is good. Boxing is alive and well. And the little town of Hoboken had a little chubby guy that made 8 world champions.
Imagine that.
So that was pretty good.
Blessing. Love you, man.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for everything, bro. Love you too, man.
All right, man.
All right.
Good closing.
So I'm going to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, still. 100%, but it's really what I want to do. And Jimmy Green, I know he's a little off the wall, but he wants to do something nice. And he says, I want to include Stewie.
No idea. I know. All
right, let me finish it up. Thanks, guys. That was a great hour.
That went too fast, right?
Thanks. Yeah, it always does.
Look, I don't even need these. I don't need nothing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. So next week we've got Andrea Kronig talking about her art and her her Instagram feed for Hoboken Naturally. After that, we've got Alex Rosario.
Who's Alex?
I think Bob is going to be talking to both.
Bob, yeah, okay. Good luck, guys.
I'd just
on
like
your
to
interviews.
thank the memory of Mel Kiernan. Mel passed away and left money to the museum in his will. We really thank him for that. He was a big fan of Hoboken and Hoboken history, and we thank him so much for that. We'd like to thank the New Jersey Historical Commission. They've donated money. They haven't donated the money. They granted money to us to buy technology to help make this show happen. So that's pretty good. And New Jersey Council for Humanities has also granted money to us to help us keep our work going. And the Shipyard Circle are our #1 high-level donors. So that's just a wonderful bunch of people that we'd like to thank. We thank all of our members and anybody who comes by and stops into the museum. We're very thankful for everybody for keeping us going. We'd like to thank the Applied Development Company. They donate the space to us that we're sitting in right now. We have a lease for 99 years for a very, very low rate. They help us in many, many, many ways. Thank you, Applied. Come to the museum at 1301 Hudson Street. We've got a great exhibit called The Avenue, A History of Washington Street. Wow. It's just filled with all kinds of wonderful photos, artifacts, maps, just panoramic images, just really great exhibit telling the story of the main drag here in town. Upstairs, we have these cool color photos by Carol Halabian that she took in the 70s and 80s. They are just wonderful, and we are making an effort to try to identify some of these people. So if you go on our Instagram feed, you should see a reel or a story that will include these photos, and hopefully you'll be able to comment. And I know some people have raised their hand and said, "That's me." So, please help us out. It's kind of a fun thing. We'd like to have an event maybe that would celebrate all of that. Comment, like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube channel. All that kind of interaction really helps us with our numbers and helps us get the word out there about what we're doing every week, Thursday night on Hoboken Talks. And we are the Hoboken Historical Museum, hobokenmuseum.org. I'm Rand Hoppy. Thanks to Stu and to
Butch Sanchez.
and Butch.
Thank you, Rand.
All right, and all the commentators, all of Butch's pals on YouTube. It's just been great. Sorry I couldn't get them all out there. All right, take care, everybody.
Wow.